and I think maybe we'll start, she started with you. And it wasn't it a Josephine or a Joe?
It was Joseph.
It actually started in the beginning.
It started at the beginning, and I felt like the reading was kind of towards myself at the beginning. And everything that she was saying at the beginning kind of made sense, but it was the row in front of me. And so Holly said to me, don't worry about it. Sometimes, you know, it could be in that section, and, you know, it may be you, you know, because it was just that section. And then she came back and she looked directly at myself. So that's when I realized, you know, she was making a connection with my grandparents, because when she said the JOS, and she was on the Josephines, but he's also Joseph, my grandfather. And my grandparents raised me since I was 6 months old. And basically, the connection that
everything she said
was spot on. There was nothing that...
I remember hearing her with the nickname, Pop Pop, what was it? Or...
At the end, two things actually. Nobody ever knew this, but the morning that I was getting married, it was my second marriage, and my grandmother never really got to know my husband, Rich, on the lines that I would like her to know him on, and everybody had kind of a jaded feeling because it's the second husband and we're an Italian family, and so he never got that 100% thumbs up approval. And Holly was also in my bridal party, and nobody would have ever known that that morning I actually went to the graveyard, and I actually went to the cemetery and I asked for her blessing. And that was something that, you know, Dawn kept reaffirming, you know, that you have her blessing, she's happy with him, this is the one for you. And that just solidified so much for me, because my grandmother had passed on before I'd gotten married. And then at the end, when she actually said, Pops, that's my grandfather, was Pops, it was Nan and Pops. So usually people call their grandparents, you know, Grandma, Grandpa, and for her to say Pops was just, that just completely, I think, for me personally, I think that my grandmother and grandfather passed away 2 weeks from each other. I never got to say goodbye to my grandmother. And when she had come over and was pointed in that direction, that's what she had mentioned. You know, you didn't get to say goodbye and so forth and so on. And for me, this was knowing that my grandmother can say, you're happy, I see you happy, your husband is a great person, that's your soulmate, that's the one for you. It really left me with a sense of basically closure. And honestly, she was just so dead on with everything that she said. It actually, I'm still trying to process, because when you're listening to what she's saying, you know, you're taking everything in and you're making the connections that are...
There's no way that anybody in there could have known that my husband is a police officer, that he's named after the Archangel Michael. And, I mean, maybe if they had those two things, they could have put together that I worry about him. But the fact that she just came out and said that, and then knew that we were talking about having a second child, was just, there's no way anybody could have known that.